In front of a mirror, Mizuki cuts her long hair, snipping it away into a short auburn bob, while her friend Julia sits on her bed, asking if she's going to be okay. Julia admits that she is surprised by the news of Mizuki leaving. Julia tells her how worried she is over Mizuki's decision because they have always lived together in America. Mizuki tells her that it was difficult convincing her parents that this is the best decision for her. Despite her initial concern over Mizuki's decision, Julia cheers Mizuki on, saying the guy Mizuki likes, whom Mizuki considers her star, is one lucky person to be receiving this level of dedication, especially since Mizuki is transferring to the same school just to meet him. However, when Julia comments on how she finds it odd that Mizuki is cutting her hair short, Mizuki only flashes a suspicious and nervous smile. Starting her first day of school at Osaka Private High School for Boys, Mizuki dashes through the streets since she is already running late for her first class. Turning a corner in the school corridor, she unexpectedly bumps into Izumi and drops her bag in the process. Izumi helps her, but notices that Mizuki looks like a girl. Thinking that her cover is blown right away, Mizuki leaves hastily, forgetting her school bag in the process. Mizuki opens the door to Class 1C and immediately begins apologizing for her tardiness, explaining that her flight was delayed. The teacher dismisses her worries and turns to the class to introduce Mizuki. He tells them that Mizuki is a transfer student from America, which immediately captures the attention of the class since they did not expect Mizuki to come from a foreign land. Izumi then lightly places Mizuki's forgotten bag on top of her head. Mizuki turns to see him, instantly recognizing him as Izumi, the very reason she transferred schools. She's been a fan of Izumi for his jumps. Izumi takes his seat in class as many tease him over his tardiness. Mizuki stares after him, a warmth creeping up her chest since Izumi is right in front of her. During a free period, Mizuki looks around, taking note that she really is in an all-boys school. She worries about her situation for a bit, but is ultimately happy because she is classmates with Izumi. In her head, she thanks God and her luck for being blessed with her current situation. Wasting no time, Mizuki approaches Izumi, saying she likes him and asking if they can be friends. The class, hearing this, erupts into another state of chaos. Mizuki wonders if she said anything weird to cause such an uproar. Izumi stands up to leave, saying he's not into that, since he took Mizuki's statement as a confession. Without hearing the rest of her statement, Izumi proceeds to leave the classroom. Mizuki begins to panic in her head. She did not expect her first day to turn out this bad. Still, she manages to convince herself that it isn't the end of the world and that she can still turn this situation around since she came all the way from America to befriend Izumi. She begins laughing to herself, causing others to find her strange. Finding her a funny guy, Shuichi approaches her and compliments her guts for confessing on her first day. Mizuki clears up her intention, but now worries that Izumi might hate her. Shuichi dismisses her fears, saying that Izumi is simply sulking today. Shuichi introduces himself as a first year and a forward on the soccer team. He speaks in slang, which Mizuki finds hard to understand. When she tries to greet him in a similar manner, Shuichi smacks Mizuki's back for being overly awkward. After class, a teacher rushes into their classroom and asks if anyone can show Mizuki around. Shuichi is the one who ends up showing her the campus, mentioning that it isn't a burden because they both belong to the sports dorm. He shares that he got into the school through a sports scholarship, and Mizuki shares that she does a little track but did not get in through a scholarship. Since Mizuki lived abroad, Shuichi inadvertently asks Mizuki about her body count. Mizuki, with her vague response, hints that she hasn't done the deed yet. Shuichi then talks about men's private parts, which earns him a kick on the head from Hokuto, the school doctor. After some banter between the two, Hokuto notices that Mizuki is a new face. When he learns that she is the transfer student from America, he regards her curiously before introducing himself and telling her to see him in the clinic if she needs anything. Arriving at their dorm, Mizuki learns that she is sharing a room with Izumi. Shuichi explains that Izumi's foul mood is because Izumi now has to share a room with Mizuki when he used to have it all to himself. Mizuki admits that she thought they would have single rooms, while Shuichi admits that he also expected the same thing when he first arrived at the school. Taiki, Shuichi's roommate, says that Mizuki will eventually get used to her living situation. His sudden presence shocks them since they did not notice him. Taiki's gaze lingers on Mizuki before leaving. Continuing the tour, Shuichi tells Mizuki to come to him for anything. While going down the corridor, a dog named Yujiro jumps on Mizuki. Mizuki is shocked at how friendly Yujiro is, but doesn't resist his affection. When the owner finally calms Yujiro down and takes his leave, Shuichi mentions that Yujiro is only friendly with girls. Mizuki panics for a bit, especially when Shuichi tells her that he would believe her if she suddenly turned out to be a girl due to how feminine her face is. He playfully pats her bound chest, saying that Yujiro must have just been mistaken since he's only a dog, and jokes about how Mizuki suddenly having boobs would be funny. As Shuichi leaves, Mizuki feels a mix of relief and disappointment over Shuichi's comment about her chest. Arriving at her room, she finds Izumi already there. Mizuki restarts her introduction, saying that she truly wants to be his friend. She shares that she has looked up to him as a high jumper for so long. Izumi realizes that's how Mizuki learned his name. Mizuki wonders out loud why he was enrolled as a regular student when he is an athlete. Maintaining his neutral expression, Izumi reveals that he quit the sport. Mizuki grabs him by his shirt in shock, asking him for an explanation. But Izumi simply tells her to let him go since he doesn't owe anyone an answer. Realizing she is invading his space, Mizuki releases her hold, allowing Izumi to exit their room. Mizuki finishes stowing away her belongings and realizes it's been a while since Izumi left. She decides to look for him, but opens the door to see Minami about to knock. He introduces himself and explains that he is here to explain the dorm rules. He then leans in and admits that he finds Mizuki adorable. Minami motions for her to follow him. While listening to Minami explain the rules, Mizuki bumps into Senri, who swears he will not let Mizuki take the school title of school idol from him. Mizuki is confused until Minami points out posters of them and students voting on who the school idol is. Much to her horror, Mizuki spots Wataru selling photos of her. Minami warns him to refrain from taking pictures because it violates people's privacy. Sensing her unease, Minami reassures her that the boys don't mean any harm. Shuichi sees Mizuki and invites her to dinner. As Minami leaves, Shuichi warns Mizuki about him, saying that she could easily get pregnant talking to him. Minami overhears this and murmurs to himself that he isn't into guys. As they head for dinner, Mizuki sees Izumi outside and tells Shuichi that he can go on without her. She goes to Izumi and notices that he is dozing under a tree. The dog Yujiro brings Mizuki a tennis ball. Humoring the dog, she throws it as she takes a seat beside the sleeping Izumi. She edges closer and pokes his right cheek, whispering that she really did love seeing him do the high jump. Izumi suddenly starts to fall, but Mizuki manages to stop him from falling on his face. Instead, he ends up dozing on her shoulder. She blushes at how close they are, and Yujiro, wanting to be part of the fun, leans on Izumi. Their combined weight makes them fall to the ground. Izumi finally wakes up, surprised to find Mizuki under him. Mizuki explains that Yujiro knocked Izumi over. She then explains that she was worried he was going to catch a cold, so she was going to wake him up, but he was sleeping so peacefully that she felt guilty. So she had intended to just block the wind from him. Izumi finds her explanation funny, so he calls her strange. Mizuki insists Izumi is the one who fell on her. Izumi feels embarrassed and changes the direction of their conversation by telling Mizuki they need to get dinner before there's nothing left. Mizuki stares at him and wonders why he'd have quit his sport. Suddenly, a gust of wind prevents her from voicing her thoughts. During sports class, Mizuki is caught off guard when Shuichi casually puts his arm around her. He pushes her lightly so she can take her position to get herself timed for a sprint. As she runs, she surprises them with how fast she is. Finishing her sprint, she notices Izumi mingling with others and feels like she lost her chance to learn more about him. Shuichi notices that Kyogo seems surprised about something, and he learns from Kyogo that Mizuki had just broken a school record. Word quickly spreads, and Shuichi is approached by Hayato, who asks his aid in recruiting Mizuki for their team. Mizuki finds herself cornered by Hayato, who asks her to join the soccer club. Before she can respond, other sports clubs also approach her, and she ends up dashing out, hoping to get them off her tail. Mizuki's speed amazes everyone as they struggle to catch up to her. She manages to hide outside a building as the clubs run past the window. She spots Izumi sleeping nearby and approaches him cautiously. Mizuki inches her face closer, only to hear voices nearby looking for her. She chooses to hide behind a bush a short distance away from Izumi since she just realized she had tried to kiss him. Izumi wakes up from the noise and sees her, and soon someone asks him if he had seen Mizuki. Izumi decides to tell him that Mizuki went to a different building. When Izumi tries to tell Mizuki that they are gone, Mizuki is no longer in the area. Mizuki sighs as she exits another building, only to see Shuichi, who challenges her to a soccer game. Mizuki is confused as to why she has to have a face-off with Shuichi. Not giving her a chance to deny him, Shuichi says men never back down from a challenge. While walking Yujiro, Izumi finds them in the middle of their match. Both Mizuki and Shuichi are not holding back. At one point, Shuichi unexpectedly elbows Mizuki in the face, making her fall to the ground and lose consciousness. Both Izumi and Shuichi rush to her aid. Izumi tells Shuichi to call the school doctor while he carries Mizuki to the clinic. Shuichi initially insists that he should carry Mizuki until Izumi reasons that Shuichi is faster. As Shuichi runs off, Izumi starts to lift Mizuki. He notices something off about her as he does so. In the infirmary, Shuichi is relieved that Mizuki will be alright as Hokuto complains over his overreaction. Hokuto brushes past Izumi, slightly bumping his side. Izumi stares at the hand where he felt something. Mizuki stirs awake, which excites Shuichi, but Hokuto kicks him before Shuichi can act on his relief. Shuichi is about to argue, but Izumi grabs Shuichi and drags him out of the infirmary. Mizuki quickly tightens her necktie, preparing to go. However, Hokuto stops her and asks how her head is. Mizuki avoids eye contact and tells him that she feels better. However, as she makes a move to stand, Hokuto blocks her and asks what a girl like her is doing in an all-boys school. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss new episode every week.